Catherine and welcome to Vlogmas Day 2. I'm really excited that we decided to do this. I was thinking about it for a while and I thought maybe doing it on my personal channel, and then I thought, oh no, like I can't do a video every day in December, it's just going to be too much. And then I thought, I know, I'll ask Catherine, and yeah, you decided to join along in the fun with me. So by the way, ignore like the huge big spot on my chin if you can, because yeah, like I'm not that well. I'm okay, but I've got a bit of a cold and a bit of a sore throat, a bit of a husky voice. So just trying to sort of get better. I have been doing lots of singing. I've been doing busking, and I've been in competitions and various sort of events and things. I'm in a karaoke competition this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that, but I'm a bit nervous and we'll see what happens with that. I'll let you know. There's a few things that I'm hoping to do this month, but it kind of all depends on work, so I have to sort of find out if I'm going to be working a lot, which I think I probably am. I'm actually really enjoying busking. I don't want to talk about it too much today because I have something else planned for my video, but maybe in a future video I might film a busking day if I can get any in December, or not a whole day, but like, you know, one song. So anyway, what I really wanted to tell you about is my NaNoWriMo novel for this year. It's actually only the second one I've won. I attempted it, this was my 4th year attempting it, and I won it in 2010 with my novel called Moon Dancers, about vampires. And then I tried it again the next year, and I was writing a story. It was like meant to be a funny story called For Funerals and a Wedding, kind of like a pun on the film For Weddings and a Funeral. And that was inspired by the fact that I hadn't then been to a wedding, and it was like I'd only been to funerals kind of thing, and it was going to be like I was really excited about it because I'd kind of, you know, used obviously For Weddings and a Funeral, and it was going to be all about this girl who just kept going to funerals, and then I don't really know where that was going, but I thought it was going to be good, and then it kind of didn't happen. It kind of just fizzled out. Then last year I was writing about a girl who sort of like fell in love with this famous celebrity, or like he kind of fell in love with her and she didn't really like know who he was, or like even though he was really famous, she'd like kind of never heard of him. And he was just like quite arrogant at first, but then like I don't know, I literally got to like I think about 27,000, so I passed kind of like the halfway mark and kind of gave up. I don't even know why. I think it's really hard because like the first year I did it, I was like, oh yeah, you know, this is a new thing, like I'm gonna finish it, I'm gonna do it. I was like super motivated about it, and I was just like, I had it in my head like I was gonna finish, I was gonna win it, and I did it, and that was great. And then the year after I was like, oh well, you know, I've done this before. And then last year I was like, well, I need to do it again because I failed it the last year. I didn't manage it, and I think it was because like I hadn't planned it out properly. I'd kind of like planned out, you know, like the general idea of it, and then like I literally got lost. I was like, well, what happens now? I literally couldn't think of anything that was going to happen in the end, and I was considering killing off a character, and I couldn't like make sense of it. Anyway, so then this year I was like, well, you know, I've got to do it again. I absolutely have to do it again. I don't care how busy I'm going to be, I'm going to do it, and like it's going to be amazing. I'm going to win, and I'm going to get to 50,000 words. And it got to like the 29th of November, no, 29th of October, around about then. I was like, oh my gosh, like every year I've had a clear idea kind of in my head like what I was going to write about. I was like, I have no idea. I was sort of thinking, well, I'm going to sit down on the 1st of November and this amazing idea is going to come to me and I'm just going to start writing, and it's going to be really cool. But then I decided like a couple of days earlier, it was the day before Halloween, and I went into this shop that had recently opened in the town where I live, and it's well, okay, there's a bit more background story, because first of all, there's a shop that is up in Lancashire near where all my family live, and it's called Witches Galore. And my novel, it kind of changed, like the whole kind of outlook of it kind of changed sort of halfway through. It was meant to be completely based on this kind of shop, but it was like based on the shop in Lancashire and also this new shop that had recently opened here, and kind of like a mixture of both, except like it wasn't about the shop, it was about the people as well. And I don't know, it kind of changed, but basically this shop, I went into it and it was, yeah, very similar to the one up in Lancashire where my family live, and I've been going there for a long time, and it just reminded me. And I went like the day before Halloween, and I never bought anything at the time, but I just really liked it. And it just like brought back really good memories. And I walked out there and I was like, oh yeah, suddenly like inspiration hit me. I was like, well, I'm gonna write, about this shop and about the other shop, and sort of develop the story from there. So somehow that happened, and I came up with the idea. Anyway, this was like the longest introduction to like the most boring probably story ever, but no, I'm really pleased that I did it, because I actually had one day less as well this year, so I worked really hard to get it finished on time, because the 30th of November I was working all day, and then I was kind of out till late, so I sort of didn't get home till late. I knew I had to finish it the day before, and I did, and it was amazing. And I've had so much support from like the people who run the word sprints on Twitter, and like all the people I've met through doing that on Twitter. I made like friends through doing NaNoWriMo this year. Like, oh, it's just been wonderful. Anyway, so this video is going to be really long, but what I'm going to do is read you a short excerpt from my story, and this is kind of like the main part that really is about the shop, and sort of like how the kind of story starts from there. And basically it's about this girl called Tori Willow. She's 16 years old, and she's moved to this village. It's kind of like in the middle of nowhere, and she sort of like doesn't know anyone, and she used to live in London, and she's kind of like quite bitter about the fact that she's moved to this place. Like her parents have made her move there to the middle of nowhere. And yeah, she goes in this shop and she meets this woman, and yeah, there's more stuff that happens. So anyway, so this is beginning of chapter 2, and it's called Magic Moon, which is the name of the shop and also the name of my novel. So yeah. It was the most strangest feeling I've ever experienced, almost like going back in time. The smell of sandalwood was heavy in the air and very overpowering. An incense stick was burning somewhere. The lights in the room were very dim, and there was a faint mist in the air. Although the room was dark, the sparkling light of various ornaments dazzled me, glistening from dark, dusty shelves. There were rows upon rows of candles and books, and little figurines of witches and cats, and music was playing softly from above me. A low, haunting melody that reached the very bottom of my soul and gave me the chills. This was seriously deep. Some of the shelves were lined with thick, dark purple velvet, and I ran my fingers along the material, caressing its smooth and silky surface. I looked at my finger, and I appeared to have lifted a layer of dust up from the shelf. This place hadn't obviously been cleaned for a while. I was pretty sure not many people had visited this place over the years it had been here. How long had it been here? Can I help you? The woman's voice made me jump, forgetting I was not alone. Oh, no thanks. Just looking. Great shop, though. Thanks. She eyed me suspiciously. I continued to look round the shop, carefully and slowly, taking in all the weird and wonderful objects for sale. The piles of gemstones, carefully arranged by colour, the jewelled pendants, and the black candles. Everything was mystical and seemed so out of place in this tiny village that I now had to call home. So, yeah, that's it. That is Magic Moon, and it was my second NaNoWriMo that I won. Yay! It's really funny because I actually went in the shop today, and it was actually really strange sort of going in there now that I'd sort of written about kind of like the place that had sort of inspired me along with the other shop. Yeah, that was really bizarre. Like, I hadn't bought anything the first time I went in there, so I bought a couple of things today. That was really fun. Anyway, hope you enjoyed my excerpt for today, and I will see you tomorrow for day 3 of Vlogmas. Goodbye! Yay!